5 emotional steps you should take to move on with your life after your divorce. Hi friends, welcome to Marriage Realities, a comprehensive relationship channel. Today's video is all about the emotional tips to move on in your life after your divorce. Your life is not the same after your divorce. It does change drastically. There are times you feel you have done the right thing in divorcing your spouse. There are times you are confused about whether you did the right thing in separating from your spouse. Your mind oscillates that much from one emotion to another. You did not marry your spouse with the intention of divorcing him or her. You had great dreams of a happy relationship when you married your spouse. But as years go by, things do not seem to work for you. You face so much of differences with your spouse that you feel impossible to coexist with him or her. As with the modern trend, you do not want to make your marriage work. You feel you would be better off if you divorce your spouse. You become that much resentful and bitter against your spouse. Before your marriage, you could not think of a life without your spouse. But after your marriage, you want a life without your spouse. That fickle and fleeting is the love which both have towards each other. Both make a mess of your relationship by committing all sorts of mistakes which a marriage cannot withstand. You take whatever your spouse utters in his or her anger literally and build intense anger against him or her. You want an out from your married life as you feel that it is not worth living through. In your intense anger against your spouse, you rashly decide to divorce him or her. Initially, after you divorce, you feel that you have come out of a marriage that offered you nothing. But after some time, you have all sorts of confusions whether you had made the right thing in divorcing your spouse. You undergo severe mental trauma when things do not happen as you wish after your divorce. You're upset to see your children emotionally shattered for being denied a united family. You constantly keep remembering the fun times you had with your spouse. As you look back, you realize that your spouse did have some good qualities. You become remorseful that you should have made your marriage work. You should understand that a divorce without pain, regret, confusion and mental trauma does not exist for any couple. The healing period of your divorce can be quite traumatic to you. Painful memories, bitter realities about life after divorce combine to make you emotionally upset. But you have no other goal than to overcome your emotional feelings and move on with your life after your divorce. That too courageously and bravely. What exactly should you do to initiate the healing process of your divorce? The number one way to move on in life after your divorce is to forget your bitterness. When you constantly feel hostile about your spouse, you will not forget your bitterness. Unforgotten bitterness can traumatize your life. You keep remembering the relationship battles you had with your spouse. In your bitterness, you mentally curse your spouse as the reason behind your divorce. You must understand that your divorce has mistakes from you and your spouse embedded into it. You cannot wholly blame your spouse and escape from being accused. You should immediately stop feeling bitter about your spouse. Your spouse has moved away from your life. You should now look at the ways to lead your life minus the presence of your spouse without thinking about him or her. Unless you do it, you will not have a moment of peace in your life. The number 2 way to move on in life after your divorce is to accept what has happened. You never in your wildest dreams thought that you would divorce your spouse. During your divorce process, you emotionally shred into fragments that your marriage should have such a short lifespan. After your divorce, your life turns topsy-turvy as you now have to handle all your life problems alone without the support of your spouse. After you divorce your spouse, you will face multiple problems in your life. You should only make you mentally strong and not weak. You must accept that your life will move ahead without the presence of your spouse. The number 3 way to move on after your divorce is to make your children understand your situation. Your divorce often leaves your children feel confused as to why they have to live with a single parent. Your children might also feel hostile against you as they might think that you are the one who drove the other parent away from the life. You must understand the mental trauma of your children. Your children have been affected by your divorce rather badly. Your divorce has denied your children the emotional umbrella of a united family. So, you must be patient with your children. You owe your children an explanation for your divorce. Though you need not go in depth about your divorce, you should make your children understand that it was a decision you were forced to take. Make your children understand that you will always love them and that they will be able to see the other parent often. The number 4 way to move on after your divorce is not treating your erstwhile spouse like an enemy. You must understand that your erstwhile spouse is the father, mother of your children and that your children will love their father or mother as they love you. Do not deny your erstwhile spouse visits to meet your children. Do not poison your children against your ex-spouse. If you try to build hatred against your spouse in your children's mind, they might retaliate against you if they feel you are in the wrong. So, you should not come between the relationship your children have with their father or mother. The number 5 way to move on after your divorce is rebuilding your life. Your life does not end after your divorce. Your life will continue after your divorce with added responsibilities and duties. You must always be careful in your financial dealings and investments. You should think twice before spending money. Save money for your future. Love your children and make them your priority. Do not fall in love on the rebound, as it will always be a rash decision which will never work. Do not keep debating as to who was the reason behind your divorce. You will blame your spouse as the reason behind it, while he or she will blame you as the reason behind it. Both have gone your different ways, and it is no use debating about the person behind your divorce. Did this video make you understand how to move on in life after your divorce happens? Marriage Realities will have many such relationship eye-openers. Subscribe to my channel to understand your marriage in a new light. Press the bell icon for updates about my latest relationship videos. Make love forever until death do us part your relationship goal.